So I have, and I keep a little reference here whenever I buy new wire, but this is a 20 gauge. Helps me remember what it is that I want so I can refer back to it. And I've just cut off some small sections here. I'm going to fold that in half like a bobby pin. I'm going to take my ranunculus and I'm going to sort of pull off anything that is undesirable. Maybe a petal that got crushed or is facing the wrong way. And I'm just going to snip that off. And some people would just use the stem of the ranunculus for the boutonniere. They wouldn't wire it, and you know, that's another option, another thing that you can do. I sort of prefer the wire because I can have more control over how it faces. This is the stem tape that I had mentioned earlier. Whenever I'm choosing, comes in several different colors, but whenever I'm choosing which to use, I consider the flower that I'm using, and I try to match it as closely as I can with the stem color of the flower. This makes it look most natural. So get as close as you can up to the neck of the flower. And I am just carrying that tape, stretching it out as I go and twisting and finishing that off. Now see, I'm taking that and I'm just going to tilt the face of the flower forward. So now I have a wilt-proof flower and a flower that is cooperating with what I want to do with it. And I have some, just some olive here I'm going to lay in as a backdrop for it. Sometimes I'll put like 2 pieces at the back and maybe one down in here. Which I think too that the lapel kind of goes off to the right hand side, so having a little flourish on that right side is always nice. And I'm going to add some berries for texture. And feel free, like this berry that's a really dark red, it is pulling out some of the color in that ranunculus, but it's just not exactly where I want it to be, so I'm just going to clip that off. And then I trim a few of these pieces off here that are lower, and that gives me some berries that can go high. Then there's a few ways you can finish this off. I'm just going to show you how to use stem tape to finish it off today, but you can use thin tape and wrap it the same way that we wrapped our bouquet if you'd like. Or I just tie simple knots to cover my tape. So for a fancier wedding that might be best. But when you wrap with stem tape, I just clip off these thicker branches kind of on a little bit of an angle here. And some people take that little wire that we had and they'll make like a little curl or a flourish with it, but I don't do that very often. But yeah, I pretty much always dress them up with some ribbon. So practice a few ways to experiment and check out a few different ways that you could do that. The Oasis tape, you just wrap it around, wrap it back around like we did with the bouquet, and these lower stems here are exposed and you just put that there. So now you have a cute little boutonniere that you can photograph. You can make a little tray of 1, or you can make a tray of 3 or 5 is kind of what I like to do. Now we're going to turn that boutonniere into a flower crown.